Picture this. You stroll into a GameStop with an old console in hand, ready to walk out with some quick cash, or at least a tidy bit of store credit. But instead of making money, you're told you owe them for the privilege of handing over your PlayStation 4 Pro. Sounds absolutely absurd, right? Yet that's exactly what some people claim is happening. Reports are popping up all over the internet about a bizarre scenario where a customer attempts a trade-in, only to end up on the wrong side of the transaction. It's not just a one-off rumor either. Threads on forums and social media have turned this into a viral talking point. And behind this single strange moment lies a deeper story that may hint at GameStop's future, possibly even at the direction of the entire gaming retail industry. By the end of this video, you might be rethinking your next trip to GameStop, or at least double-checking every cable and controller before you hand them over. What really happened here, and why is GameStop at the center of yet another controversy? Let's delve into the details and see how a simple attempt to trade in a console could reveal far bigger issues than missing cords. Welcome to Gamer Service Announcement. GSA, the more you know. Click that subscribe button and hit on the alert button to get notified about new videos for you. Not long ago, a customer walked into a GameStop, convinced they'd at least make a few bucks trading in an older PlayStation 4 Pro. It wasn't in perfect condition, and the customer admitted they were missing a few accessories. Still, they never imagined they'd be asked to hand over actual money just to proceed with the trade-in. According to their account, the total deductions for missing controllers, cables, and membership status cut the store's offered value so much that it dipped below zero. The final figure? A few dollars owed by the customer, not to the customer. Naturally, word of this strange encounter spread. Post after post cropped up on gaming forums, each story adding fuel to the fire. Some folks insisted this must be a glitch, a random register error that only affects a rare set of circumstances. Others blamed GameStop outright, calling the trade-in scheme a brazen attempt to nickel and dime unsuspecting customers. Whichever side you lean toward, you can't deny the shock value. After all, who expects to pay money to unload a console at a retailer known for used game sales? But that wasn't the only surprise waiting behind the counter. To understand how something so bizarre could happen, we need to look at GameStop's established trade-in policies. For years, this retailer has built its empire on buying and reselling used games and hardware. Typically, if you don't have a required accessory, like a matching controller or the official cables, GameStop can and will deduct a certain amount from your potential payout. The rationale is simple. They have to replace those missing items before they can resell the console. On paper, it makes sense. In practice, it's often left gamers grumbling about low offers. You bring in a nearly new console, only to receive an offer that feels insultingly small. Add the lack of membership status or missing items, and your trade-in value plummets. For many, it's become a running joke. Trade your whole gaming library for a few bucks. Now, that joke has taken an even wilder turn. When the sum dips below zero, you're in negative territory, owing money to GameStop if you dare go through with the transaction. Yet, this incident hints at deeper issues lurking beneath the surface. GameStop's not exactly a stranger to controversies. Just think back to the high-profile GME stock mania that rocked Wall Street. Seemingly overnight, the retailer found itself the poster child for a battle between retail investors and big hedge funds. For a time, people worldwide fixated on what GameStop was doing. Were they pivoting to something new, or would they fade into bankruptcy? The volatility surrounding GME shares revealed one certainty. GameStop's business model was under the microscope. Well before the stock frenzy, the chain had been closing stores in multiple regions, struggling to maintain profits as digital game downloads became more popular. Fewer people walk into a physical store for their new releases when everything is one click away online. With mounting pressure to adapt, GameStop tried everything from retro gaming sections to store redesigns that featured PC accessories. But behind every attempt at innovation lurked an undercurrent of worry. Was it too little, too late? However, it wasn't just the stock market that put GameStop in the spotlight. Dig into online communities where former GameStop employees gather, and you'll hear a consistent refrain about corporate pressures, demands to upsell membership subscriptions, meet certain reservation quotas, or push used game sales over new ones. More recently, rumors have surfaced, pointing to new policies that might be driving employees to cut costs wherever they can, potentially leading to awkward situations like the negative value console trade-in. Some staff members have shared accounts of intense performance metrics, rapidly shifting store layouts, and daily calls from higher-ups imposing tough new targets. The quest to stay afloat in an increasingly digital gaming world can strain both the workforce and loyal customers. And while it's easy to blame the folks behind the register for a bizarre policy, many employees say they don't make the rules, they just have to enforce them. But these challenges only scratch the surface of what customers are experiencing. News travels fast, especially when it's laced with shock and confusion. Social media was quick to pounce on the idea that you could walk into a GameStop expecting to make a little money and come out owing them a fee instead. Gamers recounted their own trade-in nightmares, like handing over stacks of old games for a sum so low it felt insulting. Others recalled running into hidden requirements or membership perks that made an already small offer shrink further. Word-of-mouth horror stories like these chip away at the trust that used to define GameStop's golden days. Once upon a time, trading in your old games and hardware for store credit was a fun ritual, a chance to grab the latest release with minimal out-of-pocket cost. Now, for many, it's turned into an exercise in frustration and disappointment. And as the backlash swirls, fresh rumors begin to emerge about GameStop's next move. Gamers everywhere are asking, is this fiasco a sign of something bigger? Perhaps the end of console trade-ins as we know them? Digital downloads now dominate the market, and used game sales aren't quite the juggernaut they once were. There's growing speculation that GameStop may eventually pivot to a heavily digital model, or push more aggressively into collectibles and PC gaming accessories. Some fans wonder if the chain is simply trying to minimize hardware buybacks, which might not be profitable anymore. Meanwhile, the retailer dabbled in launching an NFT marketplace, leaning into the buzzy world of digital collectibles. For a brief moment, some hailed it as an innovative pivot, while others saw it as a desperate attempt to stay relevant. The results? Mixed at best. Whether it's store closures, new branding strategies, or pushing unknown frontiers, GameStop's future is up in the air. But many in the gaming community sense that something major could be on the horizon. But before closing the book on GameStop, there's one more thing every gamer needs to know. If you've got an old console gathering dust, consider all your options before taking it to the nearest GameStop. Listing it on an online marketplace can net you far more cash, though you'll need to handle shipping costs and any potential hassles with returns or buyer disputes. Facebook Marketplace or local classifieds might save you the shipping fees, but always meet in a public, safe place, ideally a police station parking lot or a well-lit location during daytime hours. Alternatively, some independent gaming stores will do trades under more generous terms, especially if you negotiate or bundle multiple items together. They may appreciate older or rarer hardware, offering a better deal than the corporate chain. And if you're still determined to go to GameStop, bring every cable. An HDMI cord, power cable, mini USB for the controller. Missing any of them can cause the value to drop significantly. Double check that your controllers are recognized, and if you have an active membership, see if there's a trade-in bonus running that day. Yet the drama doesn't end here, because what followed shook even the staunchest GameStop loyalists. In the wake of these trade-in stories, customers have begun calling local GameStop branches for clarification. Some employees say the negative value situation might be a fluke, triggered when the missing accessories deductions exceed the console's base worth. Others claim it's a brand new directive from corporate, reflecting how slim the margins have become on certain used hardware. Whichever the case, people are understandably worried. A few optimistic voices predict that GameStop might smooth things over, offering more transparent guidelines or clarifying the trade-in rules. But plenty of gamers remain skeptical, feeling burned by years of questionable trade-in practices and unimpressed by the store's underwhelming membership perks. The real question is whether this controversy will be a one-time headline, or if it's a sign of deeper systemic challenges that could disrupt the entire retail chain. So where does all of this leave the future of physical game sales and the brand we've known for decades? From a startling trade-in debacle to the simmering tensions within a corporation that once ruled the pre-owned market, GameStop's latest controversy raises more questions than answers. On the surface, it's just a curious moment, a customer owing a fee rather than earning credit for a used console. Look deeper though, and it seems like a symptom of a broader shift. Between the rise of digital downloads, store closures, and the scramble to innovate with NFTs or other new ventures, GameStop stands at a crossroads. Whether this strange incident becomes a footnote in gaming history or a warning sign of the retailer's decline is ultimately up to how the company responds and how gamers vote with their wallets. Perhaps GameStop will pivot again, offering better deals and real transparency. Or maybe it'll keep doubling down on practices that alienate customers. One thing's for sure, this isn't the last time we'll hear about shocking trade-in stories or controversies surrounding the store's survival. At the end of the day, you decide if GameStop remains a place where we trade, browse, and connect, or if it transforms into something unrecognizable. Share your thoughts, experiences, and theories about the future of GameStop, and let's see if this once mighty retail giant can reclaim its place in the hearts of gamers everywhere. If you like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that alert button for more awesome videos. Gamers Service Announcement: the more you know.